If you feel stuck, understand first that you are not broken. You are simply paused in a moment of decision, caught between who you were and who you are meant to become. This feeling of being stuck isn't a signal of failure, it's a message. It's life telling you that it's time to grow, and growth begins the moment you decide to stop accepting your current reality as permanent. Everything changes the moment you identify a definite purpose. When your mind locks onto a clear goal, something inside you shifts, you stop drifting, you gain direction. Most people wander through life reacting to circumstances instead of creating them. They don't lack talent, they lack purpose. But once you define what you truly want, you begin to activate the power to move mountains. Clarity becomes your internal compass, pulling you out of stagnation and into motion. But clarity alone isn't enough. You need a burning desire, not a casual wish, but a fire so strong it refuses to let you quit. That kind of desire becomes obsession, the healthy kind that consumes doubt and makes fear irrelevant. It makes you act when others hesitate. It drives you to keep going when everything around you says stop. Still, desire must be backed by belief. You must train your mind to see yourself as already successful, already free. This isn't fantasy. It's mental conditioning. The world reflects back what you believe about yourself. If you constantly tell yourself you're stuck, you will remain stuck. But if you begin to affirm your power, your progress, your purpose, your world will start to shift. You also must learn the power of decision. One bold decision is more powerful than 1,000 weak intentions. Indecision is a silent killer. It delays action and multiplies doubt. But once you decide, fully and finally, to pursue your vision, the universe begins to move with you. Resources show up, people appear, opportunities align, but it only happens after the decision, and none of this works without persistence. You can't stop just because you don't see results today. Progress hides itself until it knows you won't quit. Keep showing up, keep knocking, keep pushing. The breakthrough only comes to those who stay long enough to receive it. Lastly, you must guard your mind. What you allow in becomes what you live out. Feed it faith. Feed it vision. Feed it discipline. You are not stuck. You are simply being invited to rise, accept the challenge, take the step, and set yourself free. Clarity of definite purpose is the foundation of all personal freedom and achievement. Without it, life becomes a series of scattered efforts and misdirected energy. When you don't know exactly what you want, you become vulnerable to distractions, overwhelmed by options, and ultimately controlled by circumstances. But the moment you define your purpose with absolute clarity, you take control of your direction. You begin to act with intention instead of reacting out of habit or fear. A definite purpose is more than just a goal. It's a central mission that aligns your thoughts, emotions, and actions. It gives your life structure. It's the reason you wake up with energy and go to bed with peace. It makes decisions easier because you measure everything against it. If it serves your purpose, you pursue it. If it doesn't, you discard it without guilt. This clarity eliminates confusion and hesitation, two of the greatest enemies of progress. Most people feel stuck not because they're incapable, but because they're unclear. They try to chase multiple dreams at once, or they aim for what others expect from them instead of what truly ignites their soul. This kind of misalignment causes frustration. It drains motivation. But when you take the time to go deep within yourself, to ask what you truly want, not just in terms of success, but in terms of fulfillment, something changes. You start moving with purpose instead of pressure. Defining a definite purpose means being honest about your deepest desires. It requires courage to look past what is realistic and instead reach for what is meaningful. It's not about what seems possible, it's about what sets your spirit on fire. Once you commit to that vision, life begins to organize itself around your focus. The right people, opportunities, and ideas begin to appear, not by accident, but because your clarity creates a magnetic force that pulls them toward you. But clarity doesn't come by waiting. It comes by deciding you must choose your purpose. You must declare it, write it, and burn it into your mind daily. Think about it constantly. Speak about it as if it already exists. This focus will sharpen your instincts and reveal paths you never noticed before. It gives you resilience because your purpose becomes bigger than your setbacks. When you gain clarity of purpose, you stop wandering and start building. You stop surviving and start living. You stop feeling stuck, because now every step you take has meaning, and meaning, more than anything else, is what sets you free. Burning desire is the inner fire that transforms ordinary dreams into unstoppable missions. It's not a passive wish or a hopeful thought. It's a fierce determination that consumes doubt and fuels relentless action. When you possess a true burning desire, you no longer ask if something is possible. You begin asking how. And then you move forward with unwavering belief that you'll find the way. This kind of desire is the root of all meaningful achievement. It's the engine that drives you through resistance, through failure, and through the long nights of work when no one is watching. Most people fail not because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity, but because they lack desire that burns bright enough to keep going when things get tough. A weak desire can be easily defeated by inconvenience, setbacks, or the opinions of others. But a burning desire has no exit strategy. It doesn't entertain the thought of quitting. It doesn't seek comfort. It seeks growth, no matter the cost. That kind of desire refuses to accept defeat as final. It fuels the courage to stand back up again and again until the goal is reached. Desire is the origin of persistence. It is the emotional power behind discipline. Without desire, goals remain abstract. But with desire, those same goals become obsessions in the best possible way. You begin to think about them morning and night. Your mind starts finding solutions, spotting opportunities, and reshaping your habits to align with what you want most. That's when real change begins, not from forcing yourself to act, but because you're pulled forward by something you deeply want. The key is to turn your desire into something so vivid and emotional that it becomes impossible to ignore. Visualize it, feel it, speak it aloud, write it down daily. Make your mind so familiar with your goal that it becomes more real than your current reality. The stronger the desire, the more powerful the drive. It becomes a source of energy when motivation fades, a guide when the path becomes unclear, and a shield when negativity tries to stop you. Burning desire will demand sacrifices. It will ask you to let go of comfort, old habits, and even some relationships. But in return, it will give you power, clarity, and progress. The world does not respond to lukewarm intentions. It responds to fire. If you feel stuck, it may be because your desire has cooled or never truly ignited. Stoke the fire, fan the flame, let it grow until nothing can stop you, because once your desire burns bright enough, freedom becomes not just possible, it becomes inevitable. Faith in yourself is not something you're born with, it's something you build moment by moment, thought by thought, until it becomes a habit that guides everything you do. It's easy to believe in yourself when things are going well, when people support you, and when results come quickly. But real faith is forged in silence, in struggle, and in the unseen hours when you must choose to believe even when there's no evidence around you. That's when faith matters most, when it becomes the only thing holding you together and pushing you forward. So many people stay stuck because they're waiting for permission from others, from circumstances, from life itself. But the truth is, no one is coming to validate you. No one will give you the green light. You must give that to yourself. You must decide that you are worthy, capable, and enough, not someday, but right now, and you must remind yourself of that truth until it becomes automatic. That's what makes faith a habit. Not a one-time burst of confidence, but a deep-rooted belief repeated over and over until it becomes your identity. This kind of belief doesn't ignore reality, it reshapes it. When you believe in your ability to overcome, your mind opens up to creative solutions. You become resourceful, you spot possibilities that others overlook, and most importantly, you keep moving forward even when the path isn't clear. Faith doesn't guarantee that everything will go perfectly, but it guarantees that you won't stop trying until it does. That kind of consistency is powerful. It turns small wins into momentum and momentum into breakthroughs. But faith must be fed. You feed it with your words, with your thoughts, with your focus. You cannot let negative self-talk rent free in your mind and expect to feel empowered. You must be intentional, replace doubt with determination, replace fear with focus, train your thoughts the way an athlete trains their body, daily, deliberately, and with purpose. Read, listen, learn, and surround yourself with people who believe in big things. Let that energy shape your environment. Faith in yourself becomes a habit when it becomes your default reaction to challenge. Not fear, not retreat, but belief. When something difficult shows up, your first instinct becomes, "I'll figure this out." That response doesn't come from ego. It comes from discipline, from choosing faith repeatedly until it becomes second nature. If you feel stuck, it might be because your faith muscle has been neglected. Start building it again today. One decision, one thought, one action at a time, because when you truly believe in yourself, freedom follows. Every time, decision is the spark that ignites progress, while doubt is the fog that keeps you standing still. Every breakthrough in life begins with a decision. A firm, clear, committed choice to move forward in spite of uncertainty. Doubt whispers 1,000 reasons why you should wait, why it might not work, why you're not ready. But decision silences those whispers. It says, "I'm doing this," and refuses to entertain any option that leads backward. When you decide with full conviction, you break the chains of hesitation, and that single act begins to transform your reality. Many people remain stuck not because they lack the ability to succeed, but because they live in a state of mental limbo, always questioning, second guessing, overthinking. They fear making the wrong move, so they make no move at all. But indecision is not neutral. It is a decision in itself, a choice to stay where you are. It drains energy, creates anxiety, and slowly erodes confidence. The cure is simple, though not always easy. Decide. Choose a path and commit to it with all you've got. Real decision is not about knowing everything up front. It's about trusting yourself enough to figure it out as you go. No one has all the answers in the beginning. Waiting until you're 100% sure means you'll be waiting forever. Clarity often comes through motion, not before it. You decide, then you learn. You act, then you adapt. You move forward, and in the process, the path becomes clearer. But that clarity never arrives without the courage to choose. Every person who has ever achieved anything of significance did so by mastering the habit of decisive thinking. They weren't always the smartest or the most experienced, but they were willing to make strong choices quickly and adjust if necessary. That's a skill, and like any skill, it can be developed. Start small if you need to. Practice making decisions quickly in your everyday life. Build that muscle so that when it's time to make the big decisions, you don't freeze. You move. The power of decision lies in its ability to break momentum. When you decide, truly decide, you set things in motion. You declare to yourself and the world that you are no longer available for fear, for doubt, for delay. You are available for growth, for progress, for freedom. Doubt may still knock at your door, but when decision stands guard, it doesn't get to come in. If you want to be free, decide, then act, and don't look back. Persistent action is the true separator between those who dream and those who achieve. It is not talent, luck, or perfect conditions that create success. It is the ability to keep moving forward no matter what obstacles appear. Most people start strong. They begin with excitement, energy, and the best intentions. But when the path becomes difficult, when progress slows, or when life throws distractions and setbacks their way, they stop. They wait for things to get easier, clearer, or more convenient. But those who win understand a deeper truth. The conditions will never be perfect. If you want to create something meaningful, you must act regardless of them. There is a lie that says you need to feel motivated to take action, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Persistent action is built on discipline and purpose, not feelings. You show up when it's hard, you move forward when it's uncertain, you take the next step even when you can't see the entire staircase. That consistency creates momentum, and momentum builds belief. Eventually, your actions start to carve out a new reality. The ones who persist are not immune to fear, doubt, or fatigue. They just keep going anyway. They've made a decision that their vision matters more than their discomfort. They've accepted that success is not a straight line, but a winding, uphill journey full of unseen challenges. What separates them is not that they never fall, it's that they never stay down. They get up again and again, and each time they do, they build a little more strength, a little more confidence, and a little more clarity. When you keep taking action through failure, through rejection, through silence, you send a powerful message to yourself and the world that you are serious, you are not testing the waters, you are committed. And when you are truly committed, life responds, people notice, opportunities begin to open, not all at once, but over time, because consistency compounds. Small steps repeated over and over become unstoppable force. Persistent action is not about speed, it's about staying in the game. Some days will be fast, others will be slow. Some days you'll feel on top of the world, and others you'll question everything. But if you keep showing up, progress becomes inevitable. The only way to truly fail is to quit. Everything else is just part of the process. If you feel stuck, take action not once, not twice, but relentlessly. Let action become your habit, your identity, your default. No matter what the conditions are, keep going. That's where freedom lies. The subconscious mind is the invisible force that shapes your life more than anything else. It operates beneath the surface, quietly directing your habits, reactions, beliefs, and outcomes. Most people live on autopilot, not realizing that their current results are not a reflection of their potential, but a reflection of what's been programmed into their subconscious. If you feel stuck, it's not because you lack ability, it's because your inner programming is repeating old patterns. The only way to break free is to reprogram the mind that's been keeping you in place. From a young age, your subconscious absorbs everything. What you hear, what you see, what you're told repeatedly. Over time, these inputs become beliefs. If you were told you're not good enough, not smart enough, not meant for more, your subconscious stores that as truth, even if it isn't. And once it's stored, it begins to silently influence your behavior, steering you toward choices and situations that match that internal script. That's why change often feels so hard. You're trying to force a new result with an old identity, but here's the good news: just as your subconscious was programmed, it can be reprogrammed. Reprogramming begins with awareness. You must become conscious of the thoughts that dominate your mind. Start paying attention to your self-talk. What do you say to yourself when no one is around? Do you encourage or criticize? Do you believe in possibilities or limitations? Once you identify the patterns, you can begin replacing them. This isn't about blind positivity. It's about choosing thoughts that empower instead of paralyze. Repetition is the key. The subconscious doesn't respond to logic. It responds to repetition and emotion. That means you must speak your new truth daily, affirm your goals, visualize your success, and feel it as if it's already real. Write down the identity you want to embody and feed it to your mind over and over again. Just as old programming took time to settle in, new programming takes time to take root. But with consistency, the shift happens. Surround yourself with information, people, and environments that support the new beliefs you're installing. Read, listen, learn, and immerse your mind in content that aligns with the life you want to create. Every moment you invest in feeding your subconscious new instructions is a moment closer to freedom. The mind will always return to what it's most familiar with. So make it familiar with success. Make it comfortable with growth. Train it to expect greatness. When your subconscious mind believes it, your entire life will begin to reflect it. That's not just personal growth, that's liberation. So if you feel stuck right now, if it feels like you're spinning your wheels, watching time pass, waiting for something to shift, understand this: the key to your freedom isn't out there. It's already within you. You don't need more permission. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. What you need is to take back control of your mind, your choices, and your direction. Decide what you truly want. Let that desire burn so deeply that it refuses to be ignored. Believe in yourself, not as a temporary burst of confidence, but as a way of life. Make faith in yourself your habit, your rhythm, your foundation. Act persistently, relentlessly, no matter what the conditions look like. Take action even when no one claps for you. Take action even when no one believes in your dream yet. And while you do, rewire your mind. Feed it the thoughts, images, and beliefs that align with the life you were meant to live. This isn't just about success. This is about freedom, the freedom to become who you were born to be, the freedom to live by design, not by default. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are simply being called to rise, to choose, to move, and to believe again. So stand up, declare it. This is the moment everything begins to change, not because life suddenly becomes easier, but because you become stronger. You become clearer, and you become unstoppable. Let today be the day you stop waiting and start creating. Let today be the day you decide to be free.